There's been an update in the ongoing lawsuit between Gina Carano and Disney/Lucasfilm because apparently, according to this article from that Park Place, Gina Carano accuses Disney of stonewalling as trial date delayed to 2026. Motion to compel filed after 8 months of reported deflection and stalling. So her legal team is asking for information that they're entitled to from Disney and Lucasfilm, and they're just not responding to these requests. And after 8 months of waiting, which seems kind of patiently, if you ask me, they're filing a motion to have the courts basically force Disney to give over the information that they're requesting. And if that happens, then the courts are probably going to be a little bit more lenient, because whenever there's these requests for information, the courts have to weigh like whether or not the teams involved actually need access to that information. But if Disney is going to behave like this, then the courts might just be more lenient to Gina Carano's and her legal team moving forward. But we don't know if that's necessarily going to be the case, but that's just me purely speculating as someone who is not a legal expert in any way, shape, or form. The legal showdown and upcoming trial between The Mandalorian and Deadpool star Gina Carano and entertainment behemoth Disney just took another dramatic turn. In a new statement posted to X, Carano announced that her attorneys have filed a motion to compel after waiting 8 months for basic discovery materials Disney has allegedly refused to provide. And here's the post that she made on social media. It has right here. It's been 8 months since my lawyers first requested basic documents and information from Disney that my damages experts needs, Carano posted. Throughout this case, Disney/Lucasfilm have deflected and stalled. My trial date has now moved from this September to next February. It's such a punch in the gut for an artist. And asking for information related to damages, how much financial damage that they caused to her, then presumably there's going to be some financial documents involved with this, something that Disney does not want to get out. In fact, that's a large reason why Disney was trying to get this case thrown out to begin with. I mean, obviously they want to try to get the case dealt with as quick as possible. Getting it dismissed before the discovery phase is one aspect of that. But a lot of people, myself included, were saying that Disney is afraid of the discovery phase because there's a lot of trade secrets and other internal conversations going on behind the scenes that they don't want to see made public. And if it comes out in this trial, well, then it could really make Disney look bad because they try to present themselves not only as being politically neutral, but also financially successful. And if it comes out what's in some of these documents that financially they're not as good as what they're putting on, well, then they might have to have some unpleasant questions from their shareholders, something that Disney wants to avoid, but also the whole political aspect of it, trying to present themselves as being neutral, really wouldn't work if you got internal conversations coming out that, no, they are a political company, or at least they are trying to push a political agenda, and they got rid of Gina Carano for those reasons, because some people might say a company should be allowed to fire an employee for political reasons, and maybe not. But the fact is, in the state of California where this lawsuit is being brought up, you can't fire people for political reasons under certain circumstances. And it's looking like Gina Carano is, actually does have a case given that information, and something Disney is not confident that they can deal with. So if a company was truly confident that they would win the case, then they would just try to get it over with as quick as possible. And so far, Disney hasn't been doing that. They're trying to stall it as much as possible because it really does feel like they're afraid. My lawyers have gone above and beyond, being persistent and consistent in their requests and cooperating where need be, which is well documented, she wrote. Disney's discrimination is plain as day. Maybe that is why they are delaying providing the proof sitting right in their files. And another thing Disney could do is try to settle this case, because if they think they're going to lose the case, they don't have to drag it out like this. They can just settle it and then move on with it. So far, we haven't heard that they've tried to reach out to Gina Carano or her legal team for settlement. I'm sure we would have heard about it if that has been the case. And in the past, she has been asked about whether or not she would accept the settlement, and she's been kind of in the middle on it. She basically said like, well, I want to just be done with this. So part of me wants to settle, but part of me also thinks this is an important fight to be had. And I actually have a case, and Disney needs to be held accountable for what they've done so they don't do it again in the future. So she hasn't said one way or the other what she actually wants to do with this. But to me, that also comes across as a person playing poker. Like, if you're going to bluff someone when you're raising them, you're not going to say like, okay, I'm going to raise you, but I'm also bluffing, so I hope you fold. It's like, no, you can't do that. So she's never going to say like, yeah, I'll settle if they're willing to settle with me. That's not a smart move from her, if she was to do that. So that's probably why she's being middle of the road, not trying to act too confident, not trying to act too meek on it, just put the ball in Disney's court. And evidently they don't think that she's willing to settle. Not to mention the whole PR aspect of this, because when she's saying that they fired her because because she's a woman and they're being sexist, and because she has political positions that the company disagrees with, well, then if they settle it with her, it almost looks like they're tacitly admitting that what she said is true, even though that's not realistically, that's not the case. A settlement doesn't necessarily mean you agree that the person with what the person is saying. It could just be like, I don't want to deal with this, so I'm just going to give you money just to make this go away. And some people would defend Disney and say that's really what happened, but I think Disney is looking at this and saying like, okay, it would look bad for us if we settle. It looks bad for us if we lose. So the only card that we have here is basically just to try to drag it out as long as possible. And then hopefully Gina Carano, her funds dry up for her legal defense, and she drops the case entirely, or she just gets too tired of dealing with it, so she drops it. But seeing as how Elon Musk is backing her legal defense, it doesn't look like that's going to happen. So it really is just a matter of whether or not Gina Carano wants to continue fighting this fight. And so far it looks like that is the case. The Gina Carano Disney trial, initially set for September 2025, has now been postponed to February 2026 due to Disney's reported refusal to release essential documents. That delay doesn't just affect Carano's financial restitution, it also prolongs the emotional reputational toll she has endured for over 4 years. It's such a punch in the gut for an artist, but I remain positive about the future, Carano said. The former MMA fighter turned actress emphasized that her lawsuit isn't just about personal vindication. She believes the case is already serving as a cautionary tale for corporations seeking to punish the dissenting voices. This case goes far beyond me. It's not just for people who agree or disagree with everything or even anything I've said, she wrote. Just even filing this case has forced Disney to check themselves, and I believe it already helped to protect others. We'll just have to wait and see whether or not the court compels Disney to hand over the information, or whether or not Disney's going to continue to drag this out. But either way, it doesn't look like Gina Carano's not going to drop this unless maybe Disney could find a settlement with her. But if they're going to do that, then I'm sure they would have done that by now. Maybe they're trying to avoid handing over information in the discovery phase. And if it turns out they can't avoid that, then that's when we'll start seeing offers for a settlement from Disney. But until then, they're just going to try to hope that Gina Carano and her team is going to get tired of waiting for them to do what they're supposed to be doing. In plain terms, a motion to compel is a formal legal request asking the court to force the other side to hand over information or documents that they've been refusing to provide. During a lawsuit, both sides are supposed to share relevant evidence. This process is called discovery. If one party drags their feet, ignores requests, or refuses to cooperate, the other party can file a motion to compel. It's basically saying, we've asked nicely, we've waited, they're not playing fair, and now we need the judge to step in and make them do it. Yeah, I think that's pretty self-evident. I'm sure most non-legal experts could figure that out from this. It's a legal way of saying enough is enough. Show us the evidence. The motion to compel now puts the ball in Disney's court, literally. If the court agrees with Carano's legal team, Disney could be forced to release internal communications, financial records, and other key documents that shed light on the decisions to fire her and the aftermath. Such disclosures could open the door to even more scrutiny of Disney's internal politics and culture, something the company is already struggling with amid multiple PR battles, declining box office returns, and ongoing criticisms of its corporate activism. And I think most people who are paying attention to Disney would agree that, yeah, they probably have been acting more politically, because like Gina Carano said, that they fired her because of her political statements. And that's not even being hyperbolic. They even said like, oh, because of these posts that we found so abhorrent, which she was basically saying people should treat each other nicely instead of attacking people who disagree with them politically. For Disney, that was bad because it was from a right-wing perspective. So they got rid of her. Meanwhile, you have Rachel Zegler, who made posts celebrating a group that is openly trying to eradicate another group in the world, not to mention saying that she hopes half the country doesn't know peace. And instead of saying that that's too inflammatory and they don't like, admonish her or anything like that, even since the movie has failed. I mean, if you're saying like they cannot do that because it was the lead up to the movie, so that's one reason. I'm like, okay, fine. But since then, they really haven't done anything about it. If anything, they just hired a PR firm to try to salvage her public image. And her statements were evidently so bad that one of the executives even had to fly across the country to basically chastise her in person for all this. And that's before they hired a PR firm. So Gina Carano, she made a post on social media. They said, instead of saying like, hey, can you take that down, or we don't like that, or that doesn't go against company, that goes against company values, they basically just fire her. But if it's from a left-wing perspective, well, then you nothing happens to you. And this is, I pretty much just lends more credibility to the idea that yes, Disney was just acting politically and all this. And this is just one of the latest examples of it. I mean, you can actually look on social media and see a bunch of posts from people who are employed by Disney or contracted by Disney, a lot of other actors in Star Wars related projects who are making really insidious claims on social media, and nothing happens to them. But Gina Carano says something from a right-wing perspective and they fire her. So I'm pretty sure her legal team is taking note of all this stuff going on, and Disney also has to be aware of it too. So that's why they're really just doing the only thing they can do, which is just drag this out as long as possible. Now, if the court sides with her, we don't know what they're going to actually do. If Disney's going to just settle it, or if they're going to comply or try to find some other way around this. But let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Do you think Gina Carano has a case here and Disney is running scared? Or do you think Disney just doesn't care about this and that's why they're dragging their feet on it? Comment below. And also, if you haven't already, make sure you click that subscribe button if you want to stay up to date with the latest entertainment news. And don't forget to click that like button and share this video out there because it really helps out with the channel. Thank you.